Yeah? I have known some people not to give a brief at all.
And still pass.
Well, yeah, because they're covered in the move. If you look upon the brief as a good way of setting for the PDI to set themselves up for the lessons they're going to give. And once on the move, it really is really crucial that they're talking about identification. At phase 1, they need to be talking out loud about identification, because that's going to help them. Because don't forget, the examiner knows how to identify and emerge. But the PDI talking about it is going to help the examiner, because he's going to think, well, there's some good advice coming here, so I'm not going to start pushing my speed at 30 mile an hour. I'm going to sit back. I'm going to listen to this because it sounds good, yeah. It also helps the PDI to get that dry mouth working, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and also they're actually it's not going to be a great big shock to them, because they might not know the area. Yeah, they don't know there's an emerge coming up the end of the road. The examiner does, or if it's left and right hand turns, they're saying, look on the right here. We can see the gaps between the buildings. We can see the street name. We can see a car just emerged. Okay, the examiner might not say we're not turning there, but then when the examiner says, "Oh, we're taking the next road on the left," because they've already started talking, it's not such a shock to the system. And don't forget, in such a short time, they can actually freeze up quite easily. So they're going to go, all right, we're turning left, so the first thing we're going to do, check the left mirror. Yeah, come on, check it. Or I should say, check the middle mirror. Yeah, check the left mirror. But if they haven't been saying anything up to that point, then I can guarantee you that first emerge, or that first left turn, or the first right-hand turn is probably going to be a bit of a mess.
Okay.
Yeah?
So when the examiner is conducting part 3 emerging, he won't give any fault on turning left and right?
No.
Not at all. So we don't need to ask too many questions, isn't it? What position, what point of turn?
Not on left and right hand turns. It's all to do with emerging.
Okay.
But anything to do with junctions, what's the procedure to do with junctions?
MSPSL.
Right. So all the errors that the examiner could possibly make, let's say phase 2, are going to be within the mirror, signal, position, speed, look routine. They can't be anywhere else. They can't be shaving parked cars. They can't be meeting. It's only to do with the MSPSL on approach to an emerge. Left and right hand turns, you'll do fine. Crossroads, you'll do fine. But when it comes to the emerges, that's where the errors are going to come in, yeah? On the phase 1, you use what we call control and educate. So therefore, because you're actually talking the examiner through it, well, the errors shouldn't really happen, should they?
Sure.
Because you're
controlling, guiding, helping.
Yeah, the control's got to come first, though. There's no good trying to give the education if the car is zooming towards the junction at 15, 20 mile an hour. It ain't going to happen, yeah? So the control's got to happen first to allow the education to take place, yeah? But make it very clear to your PDI that if it goes wrong, especially on phase 2 where it can go wrong, where I've even seen PDIs actually seen an error but haven't said it, yeah? It could be an error on the fact that the examiner hasn't checked any mirrors at all, yeah? And for some reason they just don't say it. Well, obviously the examiner can only assume then it hasn't been noticed. So at the next emerge, he's going to put in a second error, isn't he? And he's also going to not check the mirrors. So your PDI is now left with 2 errors to deal with. Encourage your PDI to pull them over. Otherwise it's going to get away from them, isn't it? Or even if it's just one error that they're having trouble sorting, get them to pull the examiner over. It could be a positional thing. It could be not left to centre or whatever. Get them to pull the examiner over. But how you approach the analysation on the phase 2 is really important. don't jump in and start tell. Yeah, you need to be in this position, because if you're not, the consequences are, and so forth. Yeah. Try and find out from the examiner which bit he doesn't know, because that's the only bit then you got to work on, isn't it?
Mm.
If he knows the consequences, and he knows where he should be, then the only bit he doesn't know is how to judge it.
Sure.
Yeah. So don't forget, they could actually know that they should be in left to centre, and they probably will know the consequences of not being in left to centre, but they just can't judge it. So the remedial action would be to find them a reference point. Because don't forget, when they learn to drive, when they start to learn to drive, it could have been 6, 7, 8 months ago. So yeah, if they had a good instructor, they would have been given the reference point. But maybe it's, it's just forgot. Or the examiner's got his job to do, so on the day of that part 3, it is going to be forgotten, isn't it? At certain stages, yeah. He is going to try and get errors in, but if he does make an error, a positional error, and the PDI gets in quick enough and gets it corrected before they actually get to the emerge, then it's going to go in their favour, because they've been very proactive, haven't they? Where if they just sit back and just think, no, he's not left to centre here, but I'll sort it out when I pull him over afterwards, then it's very reactive, isn't it? Yeah, they'll still pass, but it's probably never going to be more than a 4, yeah. Where if they're very proactive, then don't forget, when they get in that car in the test centre car park, they got 2 6s at that point, didn't they? So
They start losing it.
yeah. So if everything is going to be reactive, yes, you can pass on that. It's hard work, but you're only ever going to pass with 2 4s, yeah, or it could be a P with a B, a pass with a telling off. I won't use the word because we're on video. Does that make sense?
It does.
Well, I'll give that a pause for a minute.